What's going on, everybody? The other day I was browsing Pinterest and I saw this really cool poster on there, and I thought it would be a really cool ad for the original Super Soaker 50. So let's jump in Illustrator and have some fun. Okay, so I'm here in Illustrator and here is the original poster. I'm going to blow this up a little bit. And I actually did vectorize this. This was about probably 10 years ago, the Super Soaker 50 right here. And when I saw this poster on Pinterest, I just thought it was really cool looking. Obviously, it's not meant to be a water gun, but to me, it looks so much like a water gun. And I thought we could just use some basic elements, putting together some shapes, squares, lines, and different things like that to kind of create this Super Soaker 50 in a Bauhaus style poster. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. And I'm going to use this image for a reference while I'm building all this out. So I think the easiest thing to do is going to be to rotate this like this. And I will have it pointing the other way, and we can do the rotation later. So the key to making any Bauhaus design at all is to keep in mind basic shapes. So what we want to do is we want to avoid any of these intricate shapes right here, and we want to recreate everything here by making it up with basic shapes. So I'm going to grab everything that's here, set the opacity to 30%, and lock everything down. That way I can't move anything. See, I can actually draw on top of it, can't move anything. So I'm going to grab my rectangle tool right here and just kind of go over this basic shape, and we can go ahead and round this off right here. And this section right here, this is made up of kind of like a square right there, and then we'll do like maybe another smaller square right here, kind of make it a little bit more abstract. That's totally fine. And then we'll do the same thing here, and we'll just kind of go like this. By the time we're finished with it, the goal of it should be its recognizability. We need to make sure that it's obviously what it is, the original Super Soaker 50. I may kind of move this around a little bit because I need to make this a little bit taller. That looks good right there. And then what we can do here is we can do something like this right here, and then bring it to about here. Bring this up to here. And then maybe to represent this little thing, maybe use like a triangle and just make sure that it's nice and small. That's a good amount of distance right there between those elements. And then what I want to do here for the white part is I actually want to use just lines. And we don't need that many, we just need a few. But I do want to turn up the thickness probably to about 5 points. And then we'll bring this down to here, and then we'll just use our blend tool. Go in and refine that blend tool. And we only need to do probably about we'll do 3 in between, which gives us 5 total. And then for this little edge right here, we'll do like something like this. We need to make sure that we center it with this and just kind of align that. Looks good. However, I think what I might do here is do like a half circle. I think that works a little bit better. And then if we're going to do that, we should bring this up to match the size of this. Good. All right, and then we want to do like a rectangle here. We want to get the width of this right here. Bring this up to about here, maybe a little bit less, and then we'll just kind of shear it like this. And then for this, for the trigger, we will do something like this. Just kind of wrap it around like this, and then grab this and round it to about right there. And then for the trigger itself, I want to do something like this. So we're gonna create a little donut right here. And then we're just gonna isolate 1/4 of it. So basically creating like a slice of pie here. And we'll align it to this top part right here. Okay, cool. So now let's go ahead and move this off of this, and we'll see what it looks like. That is really cool. I like the simplicity of it. It's just made up of some basic shapes. All right, so now let's unlock this and bring up our full opacity. I definitely want to get those super crazy bright neon colors right there. Basically, that's going to be our color palette for the poster itself. What I may do here is create 2 additional little shapes, just like right here maybe, just to fill in those gaps a little bit. Not to say that you can't have gaps, but I just want to fill it in a little bit. And then we'll use our Pathfinder tool to align it to the selection, make sure that it's perfectly spaced out right there. And then we'll do the same thing here in this little section. Distribute the spacing, and then we'll align this with this. Perfect. Okay, so now let's go ahead and color these sections. I'm actually going to bring this out a little bit. This needs to kind of go out on a limb there a little. And I'll show you how to do this really quick. When you know that your stroke weight is exactly the way you want it and you're not going to be editing anymore, just go up to Object and hit Expand and make sure that Object, Fill, and Stroke are all selected and hit OK. And we have to do the same thing again because it's still a stroke. And the reason why is because it was a blend before. So we went from blend to stroke, and now we have to change it from a stroke to a fill. So now it went from a stroke color to a fill color. And we can do the same thing here. So now if we select everything here, you'll see that nothing has a stroke color. It all has fill colors only. Okay, so let's color this right here. And this little part, this little triangle that we made is supposed to be yellow. And I think we may just kind of bring it to about right here to where it's a little bit closer to that part of the gun. Very cool. So now, as you can see, we went from like a little bit, you know, like a semi-intricate illustration of how everything is made up here to putting the same thing together with basic shapes, and it's still recognizable. So I'm going to select all of this right here. I'm going to group it all together, and I already have a canvas right here. So obviously this white background is not going to work, so I'm going to use this blue color right here. I always thought it was a really cool background to use against the Super Soaker because it's like a sunny day and you're playing with the Super Soaker. It just works for me. So I'm going to lock this background so we can freely move the gun around a little bit. Let's bring this back to where we had it before. So this next part's really easy. All we have to do is rotate it 45 degrees. And we'll need to do a little bit of adjustments here. I think I might actually go in and just kind of make it a little larger. Because as you can see on the original poster, it actually goes really close to the edge without bleeding off. And now we just need some type. So let's put Super Soaker down, and I'll use this great Bauhaus font right here. It's called Reros. It's an Adobe font, just in case you want to know. And let's make sure that we turn this up. All right, and I want to add in a 50. So I think I'm just gonna rotate it the same angle that it is right now. And I think it'll fit right there very nicely. And we'll just kind of bring it to about right here. So I'm going to go ahead and rotate this back and ungroup everything so I can get that vertically centered exactly the way that we want it to be. And we'll just kind of push it in by maybe ½ inch or so. And this we need to redo. There we go. And the 50, I think, let's go ahead and get this rotated exactly how we want it. And I think I'm going to make this blue instead of black. And we'll rotate this. And we'll put that 50 maybe down in the corner. Really cool with that yellow right there. I think we can probably bring it down to about 1 inch tall. And let's see, do the original one? Okay, the original one is perfectly centered. So the same amount of space on the top and the bottom. Maybe we kind of go like this. Make it a little bit higher on the canvas. All right, that's really cool. All right, I like that. Okay, so let's go ahead and get rid of this so we can look at these side by side. Go ahead and unlock this. All right, so this is our original inspiration over here on the right, the Bauhaus poster design, and just kind of making it into a really fun Super Soaker. Obviously, we could have had the same color palette. Why don't I go ahead and do that really quickly, just for fun. All right, well, obviously it doesn't have exactly the same feel as the original design, but of course, you know, the elements are all different and everything, and there's a million different ways you could go in and color this to make it a little bit more like a classic Bauhaus style, but I thought this was really fun. All right, well, that was a lot of fun, and I hope I taught you something about either Bauhaus design or Adobe Illustrator. If you like this video, please hit like and subscribe, and click the bell for notifications to be notified of all future content. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.